Welcome back to Twin Tarot. I'm Gary, and this is the ubiquitous Not David. Hey, it's Saturday. It's about 2 in the afternoon. Laura just landed. She was in London for a week, and she is home and probably clearing customs and heading towards her car now. So, thought I'd get this knocked down and out of the way so that I can focus on my wife and see how she's doing. Hope you're all having a good weekend. I was pretty busy this morning running around, getting all my have-tos done so that I could free up the afternoon so that Laura and I could spend some time together because she's been gone. Hi, kitten. The kitten just walked by. She's going to be demanding food soon if I know my cats. So I haven't been looking at the news, and so I just looked at my phone, and I got two stories that are like this. One story is Trump is saying we're near the end of the war with Iran, and the next story is Trump is threatening Iran that they have 48 hours to open up the Strait of Hormuz, or I guess he's gonna unleash unholy hell on them. And it's like, which is this? And so I'm going to do a reading on that. What's going on? And I was watching Cash Peters' latest video, and he brought up a really good point. As we transition out of the current age and move towards the age of Aquarius, his point was that this is the age of ego, and ego is basically trying to grab a hold and hang on as long as it can, but ultimately it's got to relinquish and we transition into the new age. So we're going to look at that too, in some way or fashion. But was also curious was Cash Peters had mentioned that there was a lady who was an intuitive, and she does like watercolor. So she was doing a watercolor of Cash Peters while trying to read his energy and give you background information on Cash Peters. And he said, normally I just sort of dismiss that sort of thing, but he said this woman just nailed it. Knew stuff about him that she could not have possibly known. And she went way back to, a boy wearing short pants days, right? And then brought it forward. Because, you figure if you watch the channel enough, you can kind of glean some insights into Cash Peters and how he kind of thinks and operates. But she was going way back, and he was very impressed with the accuracy of her reading. So if you get a chance, Cash had a link to it in his description of his latest video. The video I saw was like a day or two ago. So you might want to check that out. It's always interesting when you come across someone that has some unique insight. And I guess this is kind of what she does. She looks normally at maybe more famous people or dead people and does these readings. She's also on Etsy, and she does her watercolors, and you can order something and pay for it and get it through Etsy. So good for her. So I wanted to take a look at what is going on with this war in Iran. Trump is looking for an off-ramp, but his ego won't let him walk away as a failure. And I think that's what he's struggling with. He has to walk away as a winner. His ego cannot handle not winning. That was the whole 2020 election, that it was stolen from him, and Joe Biden cheated, and the Democrats cheated, and election fraud, election interference, and Hillary's emails, and Hunter Biden, and whatever he could use. And part of the reason why we're still in the situation we're in is because Mitch McConnell and the Republicans didn't have the gullionies to tell him to shut the hell up and sit down. And now we're all suffering more because the Republicans that were in charge of the Senate couldn't be bothered to hold the man accountable. So we get to suffer through Trump's ego. And Trump's ego will fill this room, the room you're in, and probably the room next to you, right? So let's take a look at Trump and what are we going to see over the next 48 hours in Iran. He's given 48 hours to Iran to open up the strait, or bad things are going to happen. So what's going to actually happen? Is Trump going to taco, or are bad things going to happen? Entertainment purposes only. Foundation of the reading is the Eight of Swords. He's basically bound himself and put himself into a corner. He's painted himself into a corner. He knows his reputation on Wall Street as Taco Trump. And he's made a lot of blusters and changed deadlines. He's kind of put that line in the sand. He's kind of doubled down on this. You better have everything wrapped up and ready to go by about April the 5th or 6th. Otherwise, bad things happen. He backed off of that because Iran gave him a gift of 10 tankers of oil that didn't even belong to the United States. But I guess he's back to his old ways. His challenge is the Three of Cups. He wants to come out and be celebrated as a war hero. But he is not going to be celebrated as a war hero unless he controls the Strait of Hormuz and gets that leverage over the Iranians. But it's one thing to take it, it's another thing to hold it. The energy underneath it is the star. This is his ego. He's got to be the man. He's got to be the one that everyone adores and everyone admires. I'm the star of the show. He can't take a supporting role. So he's painted himself in this corner. He wants to be celebrated because he's the star. In the past, you had the Four of Swords. He should have thought this thing through. He did not think it through. What I read in the article was he figured that the Iranians would never dream of closing the Strait of Hormuz because it would hurt them more than it would hurt us. Well, guess what? Not only did they close it, it seems to be hurting Trump a lot more than it's hurting them. Current situation is Ace of Pentacles. Once again, he needs to find a way out. He needs some sort of new idea, some sort of new leverage point to allow him to go through the door. He doesn't want to put boots on the ground because he knows it's not going to be popular with the stock market, nor is it going to be popular with MAGA, but he needs to do something with the Strait of Hormuz and get that money and that oil flowing through. Overarching energy is the Moon card. There's no good path forward. There's no path that is readily apparent. If it was a Sun card, it would be very apparent, but they don't know how they're going to move this thing forward. So he goes to what he does. He doubles down and he blusters. Lesson to be learned. Justice. Yeah, poetic justice. You didn't think. You just acted. And, you wondered why all these past presidents never used their power, the power of the military, to go after Iran and, teach them a lesson. Well, now you're learning. It's justice for you. You have to wear this. You get to own it. There's no one you can blame. You can't blame Hegseth for this. You can't blame Hillary for this. You can't blame Obama. It's you. You did it. You and Bibi. Outcome, Four of Cups. So what's going to happen in the next 48 hours? He has got terrible options to face. There is an option that's out there, but he's not ready to accept it. I have a hunch that option would be some sort of peace talks where he's got to give up leverage. And I suspect, Gary the analyst suspects, that what will ultimately end up happening is Iran will probably come out stronger from this. Their missile strike ability and their ability to wage a war will be temporarily set back. But I can see them putting a tariff on American oil if it wants to pass safely through the Strait of Hormuz. Here's a little, pay the gatekeeper type of a thing. And then they'll use that money to start rebuilding. And sure as hell, they'll probably want to start seriously pursuing a nuclear weapon if they weren't pursuing it before. Um, okay, so let's take a look, a little side by side, Iran versus Trump. Um, what's it looking like the future for Iran versus Trump? Let's do Trump on this side and Iran on this side, and we'll take a look at the two of them. Okay, the linkage is the star. It's all about the star power. Okay, so how's things looking for Trump? Empress, needing to take care of the people around him. That bountiful harvest. The challenge is he wants to steal the oil. His goal is, okay, if this is oil, he wants to steal it. He's going to fight until he gets what he wants. And he shows that he was taking care of his nation. Clarifier's the Fool. And then the Three of Cups, the Victory. So for Trump, he's going to go for it, man. He's either going to walk it off the cliff or he's going to celebrate a victory. Because he's the star. How are things looking for Iran? This would be interesting. Queen of Wands, they're going to be taking a lot of actions. A lot of actions going to be taken. Judgment, people are going to pass judgment on these actions that they're doing. Ace of Cups, it's going to stir new emotions, strong emotions. And then the Four of Swords, laying back and thinking about it. Oh my goodness. What's my gut feeling on this? Man, my phone is going berserk over there. So apologies to all of you who keep checking your phone. It's my phone that's dinging over there. Iran's going to be taking lots of actions. And calling, basically their actions are going to make people stand up. And what side of this conflict are you on? People are going to be very upset, are going to be very emotional about it, and it's going to be something that's going to cause people to stop and think. Good Lord. I have a hunch what that could be, and I don't like that hunch. I don't think Trump's going to go nuclear. But I think he's going to do things that are war crimes, is what I get from that. I don't think it's a nuclear thing. I think it's just he is going to be like a child having a tantrum in a china shop. And he doesn't care how much damage he does and what he breaks. He didn't get his, whatever prize he wanted from his parents, and he is going to just lay waste to anything that's in front of him. I suspect it's going to be a type of... The attack he's going to unleash is going to be morally bankrupt, morally corrupt, and people are going to be, holy shit, type of reaction. That's what I get from that. Entertainment purposes only. That's what I'm getting here. Hold on just a second. I'm going to silence my phone. Okay, and I'm back. I've got a fan. Hi, kitten. What you doing? Are you looking for lunch, my dear? I think the kitten's hungry. I better wrap this up and feed that cat. I want to do one more follow-up. That last reading's got me a little bit shook. And I just want to know, what action is J.D. Vance going to take after next week? What action, if anything, will JD Vance be taken after next week? Because if it's bad, like my gut is telling me, it could be 25th Amendment time. Okay. I just saw the bottom card. You can see it too. What actions is JD Vance going to take? Page of Swords. Time for a new idea. Time for creative intellect approach. The challenge is the moon, the challenge is the moon. It's like he needs to take over the reins because the old man is getting, he's going loony. And the energy underneath it is judgment, because whatever actions that Trump took, people are standing up, and they're letting themselves be counted, as it were. It's one of those things where if he says something very dramatic, like my gut is telling me, you have to be on one side or the other. This is your moment. The horn is calling. You need to stand up and be counted. In the past, Ten of Swords. JD has definitely been sidelined in this whole thing. They have. What is he now? The czar of. What did Trump just make him? The czar of not corruption. Trump is accusing all the blue states of stealing money from the government and being corrupt, and so he's not that czar. He had some title that it's a really bad title. Let me look it up. Otherwise, I'm gonna get 500 comments on what the title is. Stand by. He's the fraud czar. You can't make this stuff up. I mean, he could be the fraud czar. He doesn't have to look beyond his own backyard, man. Look at your boss's office, man. So anyways, JD is the fraud czar. So they've sidelined him. They've taken all their shots at him because he had the nerve to say, maybe attacking Iran isn't such a good idea. So how is JD going to react to whatever actions Trump takes next week? The Ten of Swords is about the past is coming to an end. Now, the current energy is the Star. It's his turn to take over the Star because the old man is crazy. He's loony, and people are noticing. Overarching energy is the Hermit, but he's got to find that path forward. How does he displace the Star? Is it 25th Amendment? Does he go find some fraud somewhere? I don't know. So he's got to find that path forward. The lesson to be learned is lesson to be learned is the Six of Wands. If you can put an end to this, become the Star, and find some sort of path forward. In this case, I'm thinking it's either ending the war, finding some sort of peace agreement, or getting Trump's finger off the damn button. You will have taken actions that will make you victorious. And the outcome will be the Six of Swords. And you can move your wife and your kids to calmer shores. Interesting. Maybe it's getting Trump, putting Trump on a boat and sending him off. I guess they could start looking at potential 25th Amendment. I guess that's always on the table. We have to have half of Trump's, I think it's half of his cabinet saying, yeah, we want to do that. And then you have to have, or maybe it's 3/4 of the cabinet, and then you got to get Congress to approve it. It's a pretty high bar to get to. It's not impossible, but you still got to get there. Stand by. Okay, so 25th Amendment, Section 4 basically says that he could be removed with the vice president and the majority of the cabinet declare that he's not fit, and then you need 2/3 of Congress to agree, and then that would be Article 4. Otherwise, it's if you try and do it just under the 25th Amendment, it's 2/3 of Congress and then 3/4 of the states need to ratify that if you're not going to go with the Article 4. So we are in crazy times, aren't we? No promises there. That's a pretty high bar, and uh, whatever would have had to have happened would be so traumatic that maybe it could happen. I don't know. I'm just a dope reading cards. Anyways, I hope you're all having a great day. I gotta talk today. We gotta do a live soon. I'm in love with the idea of just doing a really short live stream for the Insomniacs. I almost did it last night. I woke up. I woke up a little late. It was about 12:15, and the last 2 or 3 nights I thought, that'd be kind of fun just to pop on. And then I realized, well, what do you look like at 12:15 in the morning? Oh my God, I would look haggard. Anyways, I'm in love with the idea. Let me know what you think. But yeah, Dave and I need to do a live. It's been too long. I miss interacting with you folks. So I hope you're having a great day. I want to give a couple of shout outs and a very happy Easter to everyone out there. Let's see, what do we got here? Yes, Linda from Virginia. Thank you so much for your thoughtful contribution to the channel. You are the star. Boy, that card came up a lot in this, didn't it? And Patricia, thank you so much, Patricia. Patricia, you have been so supportive of us over the last week. It's so thoughtful of you. And your card is the Five of Pentacles. Don't be too supportive. We don't want you out in the snow in rags. And a card for the rest of us. I hope you're all having a great day. I'm going to take it right off the top. Hey, we are the world. Hopefully we are at the end of this cycle and we can transition away from the age of ego, because Lord knows I'm tired of it. You're probably tired of it. And let's just get the hell out of this place. Hope you all have a great day, folks. Bye. I put batteries in the Kit Kat clock. That tail still looks unhappy and it's got a fresh set of batteries. So let's throw a card for the tail. The sun. Ah, yes. Everyone noticed the tail. Have a great day, folks. Bye.